Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 7 to What If Goku's Heart Virus Turned Him into a Zombie. Before we begin today's episode, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and further acknowledge and support the future of the Omniverse by checking out everything that the Omniverse has to offer on the homepage, as well as commenting future requests and expectations for this year in the comments section, along with for the future. With all that said, let's get started. Last time we left off, Vegeta's rage and something boiling inside him flares zombie Goku's eyes, and he growls because he senses something within himself. Something on the outside. Something that urges him to get out, but it's not strong enough yet. And it all has to do with what's about to happen in this episode at Bobbity's ship, which the group finally locates after sensing a faint power that Supreme Kai and Kibito know all too well. And they all get behind the rock formation that they did in canon. Pui Pui is the one that they sensed, surveying the outside of the ship, waiting for Spopovich and Yamu. But nothing. And before he can even think about anything or go back in the ship, he is suddenly caught off guard, blasted, kicked, and completely eviscerated by Vegeta, who just rushes in and utterly dominates Pui Pui. And he says, I would have expected a threat such as this to be worth a little bit more of a fight. This one didn't even fight back. And Vegeta's acting rather strange, you know? In canon, he thought about taking them all on himself. But here, it feels like something's making him do this. Gohan and everybody has gotten away from the rock formations, and Gohan's the first to speak that Vegeta, that was a stupid move. We were supposed to all wait for the right opportunity to strike. And he tells Vegeta, we have a plan. What is with you? You're acting really weird lately. And your power, it feels like something is, feels like something's off about you. Did someone or something tick you off? Does this have anything to do with the fact that this whole Majin Buu zombie Goku or my dad thing's happening? What's going on with you? And Vegeta says, you should know more than anything what's going on with me, especially for someone who likes to conceal his power from me. But Piccolo says that no matter what the issue is, Vegeta still isn't the one in charge here. He is. And they have to make sure that these two threats never see the light of day. When it was their threat alone, and they had to contain Goku in a way so that Bulma could do her little thing, that was one thing. Piccolo could tolerate that. But what he can't tolerate is the fact that there's another threat, Majin Buu. If they let these two threats together, no part of any universe is safe. Screw Earth. The world, the universe is in danger, and Vegeta possibly just ruined their advantage. But Vegeta says he's no longer in debt or down to the Namekian anymore, because he knows that his power, at full power from his training, could surpass Piccolo. And he's not going to mention the fact he knows Kakarot's boy, Gohan, is holding back, which is one of the main reasons why he's angry. He is the Prince of Saiyans, and if they have a little threat here, he's going to do to Majin Buu and these minions and this wizard what he should have done to zombie Kakarot, and that is put him down. And once they're done here, he's going to go back to Capsule Corps, his home, and completely eviscerate zombie Kakarot. But Shin says that's enough. Piccolo and everybody is right. This is much more than just the greatest piece of evil and destruction personified. Majin Buu, a creature of the darkest magic whom not even the Four Kai could stand, along with this zombie manifestation. Screw the universe being twisted into a barren wasteland. They're looking at the entire freaking, like, past the universe. Nothing will remain. And Shin says now more than ever, if their advantage is still here, that means that Babidi probably lost one of his top soldiers. Vegeta did a good job eliminating Pui Pui, who he thought to be a bigger threat. And he wasn't even warped to his home planet. But that doesn't mean that they're need to be so careless and carefree about literal destruction across the cosmos. They have to do this right. So, he says now more than ever, no matter what, everybody needs to be on the same page. No more freaking rash actions. And with that, they all agree, and Vegeta very, 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 very begrudgingly, and even more so annoyingly, just all go. They go into Babidi's ship. Meanwhile, Babidi and Deborah have seen that not only did Yamu and Spopovich fail to return, even also with a speck of energy, but Pui Pui just literally got eviscerated by a guy who honestly is a lot more angry than they gave him credit for. But they're not looking to control him yet. They don't know that. They don't know enough about them yet from seeing them on the mountainside and then, doing that. Babidi and Deborah don't have the advantage this time. So Babidi says since stage 1 was robbed of Pui Pui, he'll make it Yakon. So they go to stage 1, and Yakon is their first opponent. Gohan fights against the likes of Yakon and is able to dodge his claws and his speed with relative ease, and even knocks him back. But then Yakon is requested by Babidi if he wants to take it to his home planet, the planet of darkness. And Yakon, like with Goku, is getting overwhelmed. But it's even more apparent when Gohan turns Super Saiyan and then stacks 2 on top of it, right when Yakon begins to sap his energy, and Gohan just propels it back, and Yakon blows up. Vegeta now knows more than ever before that he was surpassed, and that Gohan, he unlocks Super Saiyan 2 before him. And a flare of rage and evil intent gets the room. But no one's focused on Vegeta right now, since nobody's happy with him right now. Shin is utterly surprised at how easy this has been for them, and that Pui Pui and Yakon were so easily trumped. And even if this is without Goku, Gohan and everybody else here, Vegeta, even if he really hates to admit it, they're doing wonderfully. Like, at this point, Majin Buu won't get resurrected. But the battle isn't over. Shin and Kibito also don't realize Deborah's here yet. Because, again, they didn't come out of the ship. But still, Shin knows Babidi has to have more. It can't just be him left. And they have to still proceed with utter caution. It is the universe at stake here. Now Babidi is scared. And Deborah's the only one left. And if he's beaten, it's all over. No one will protect him, and Buu will never get resurrected. But Deborah knows that the Supreme Kai and Kibito know about him. And they still have the advantage, with his appearance being a surprise. And he says for his master Babidi not to worry. He is Deborah, the Demon King, the king of all the demon world, and that he will not lose so easily as Pui Pui and Yakon did. All of them are strong. They can't use the energy of Supreme Kai or Kibito. But that boy, Gohan, that little rash Saiyan Vegeta, and that Namekian, Piccolo, those 3 in particular, seem to be the strongest out of everybody, and they could really use their energy. And Deborah plans to siphon all of it and get the fools out of the way. And he says that by the end of it, Majin Buu will be resurrected. Their gauge might not be half full, but they won't have to worry about that for too long once Deborah propels it to the top personally. Bobbity smiles, seeing that Deborah is truly confident, and everything he said is right. So he says, Deborah, take all the time you need to prepare. We'll give these fools the fight of their lives. And with all that said, Majin Buu will give them the not only fight of their lives, but the last fight that they will ever be in. That is, if you don't kill them first. And with that, Deborah goes into the meditation room, longer this time, to actually prepare, and walks in to stage 2. Because remember, they're not at stage 3. It's weirder this time. And, yeah, Shin and Kibito are utterly dumbfounded. Because before, Shin was surprised that Deborah was the last fighter. But this time, the whole reveal of Deborah is much different. Because they didn't see him outside, or even know that he was controlled. But they should have known Bobbity still had a plan. He ensnared the king of the demons! And Deborah says that he's rather impressed, beating Yakon and advancing to this stage, and beating Pui Pui before stage 1 far more than any mortal. But now they all face him, and that means they progress no further. Vegeta laughs and says that, your boss must be really scared if he sent out his #1 guy. Well, after I'm done with you, he'll have nothing left but a pile of scraps. And Deborah says that, I want you all to attack together if you're so overconfident. Vegeta just powers up into Super Saiyan and tells everyone to stay back. This fight is his. He cares not that white Pui Pui guy was his first target. Now is time for him to actually get a fight. And with that said, they're transported to the same place that Gohan and Deborah were, and the fight between Vegeta and Deborah begins, with Vegeta going all out from the start. Now, Deborah is surprised, but he's able to use his quickness, his cape, and his demon skills to outmaneuver the prince for the beginning. And Vegeta's not strong enough to outright, beat him. This isn't a super strong Vegeta. He's pretty much around canon, if not a bit weaker. He hasn't fully mastered Super Saiyan 2, because the situations have been a lot different. So Deborah's able to outmaneuver him and get some strikes in. And then Deborah goes for the spit, which catches Vegeta's glove, and he throws it off just like Gohan. And Vegeta says, if that was your #1 technique, it is rather peculiar and seems easy to ensnare someone into complete stone. If I wasn't the Prince of Saiyans and experienced in combat, that might have actually stopped me. But you're going to have to do far more than a paltry technique like that. And so, the battle continues. Deborah uses his split wind attacks and other techniques like his flame, and then he does the Hell Blitz, and all of this manages to wear down Vegeta, and at this point it's kind of even, yet Deborah's kind of taking a little bit of an advantage against Vegeta's overconfidence. The only good thing Vegeta's done is dodge. He hasn't been able to outright gain an advantage, but Vegeta's not done yet. He powers up farther and farther, and for the first time unlocks Super Saiyan 2. And with this, Deborah is actually taken aback, because he wasn't expecting this prince to have more power in him. And now, this might actually prove a problem. And Vegeta uses his little Hell Zone grenade he used on Buhan, which he also ripped off of freaking Piccolo, by the way. I know many people probably don't talk about that, but yeah, he uses that move, but this doesn't catch Deborah. The other shock for his Super Saiyan 2 did, but once Vegeta did this, it gave Dabura time to think of a strategy. He pulls out his Demon Blade, and with that, he slices through all of the blasts. So no barrier, no explosion, no nothing. He just slices through all of them faster than Vegeta can even blink. And then Dabura rushes with his blade and then prepares to strike, but right when he does, he's met with another. And it's not Vegeta's, it's not Gohan's, it's not Piccolo's, it's Trunks, who uses his sword for the very first time and clashes with Dabura's. Gohan comes in with Super Saiyan and demands to know why Trunks is here, because, forgot to mention, everyone did go except Trunks, because, he might be a Super Saiyan, but Gohan didn't want to endanger him in a case like this. So Gohan says, "You should have stayed back, Trunks." And Vegeta yells at his son too. This is his fight. Sword or not, Sun or not, Super Saiyan or not, this is his battle. And he better stay out of the way if he knows what's good for him. And then he starts to yell more and get more angry at Trunks and everybody else for daring to interfere with his battle. He was beginning to win. And now everybody has gotten in the way. And they all begin to notice something as Vegeta's shouting. His aura, the lightning, it's beginning to change colors. It's no longer fully yellow. Sparks of it, yeah. Those are still yellow. But outlines of the electricity are beginning to turn red. And then parts are starting to turn gray. But the most weirdest and troubling thing to everybody is Vegeta's eyes. His eyes are a piercing red with the pupils. And his ki is beginning to get more malicious. And Shin's worrying that he's getting controlled. But no, Gohan and everybody else sense a familiar presence. But they're given no time to process it. No one is. Because Dabura takes advantage of this. And he rushes forward, past Vegeta, and instantly kills Kibito. And then teleports away back to where Bobbity is. After they're warped back, of course. And then Bobbity looks, after being informed by Dabura of what's happening, something's up with the prince. And Bobbity looks into his past. He looks into his evil past, being a Saiyan killer. Then he looks about this zombie Goku, and that the fact that Vegeta was scratched and seeped some of that ki into his own, expelling it, but not all of it. And it seems like it's finally been let out. And this zombie Goku, if he were to get him out of his shell, that place called Capsule Corp, he would be able to control him. So he would have two mass destroyers, not just Majin Buu. But for now, let's focus on the prince and recycle his old past with that zombie curse and make him the ultimate puppet. So, Bobbity uses his magic, and we get Majin Vegeta. But the spell doesn't stop, and Vegeta didn't let him get controlled this time. Something begins to happen with him further. He's loyal to Bobbity, but it's much different within the few seconds that he's Majin Vegeta, because he begins to power up and roar. And then it happens. Vegeta, Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta, transforms again. It's not Super Saiyan 3, it's not Zombie, and it's not any other Super Saiyan form, but a completely new Super Saiyan form. Super Saiyan Hell. Yes, this is my first Super Saiyan fan-made transformation. The zombie essence, his old self, the maliciousness of the Super Saiyan form, and Bobbity's magic have culminated into a new Vegeta. And with this, zombie Goku's eyes flare again inside of his pod, and he is ready to escape his prison, while Vegeta is ready to lay waste to everybody with his malicious power. And it seems like we're going to be getting the ultimate either downfall of Earth, or this timeline will finally have time travel put in place. Find out next time what exactly happens.